All right. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Dirt Diamond Sports Talk. I'm Ryan, as usual, here with my man Wally. We're on a Thursday night, post WBC, and what a fantastic game between Venezuela and USA. Was that not exciting baseball?
Oh, that was great baseball. Both nights were great baseball. You know, the Astros have been able to have the benefit of seeing Aaron Judge not come in the clutch, and he showed that can happen on the international stage as well as the domestic stage.
Oh man, that guy has caught so much flack on social media for being unclutched.
Well, he should. He should. Do you remember how it was like when Biggio and Bagwell? In the late 90s, late 90s, they'd hit 300 during the season and 030 in the playoffs. Now the 04 and 05, Biggio did better and Bagwell a little bit too, but Bagwell, you got a grade on the curb because his shoulder was shot. Yeah. But Judge, and the Astros swept the Yankees in 22. Judge is the last hope, and he hits a little weak grounder to Presley.
Yep,
shocker.
Yeah,
but yeah. I mean,
as exciting as it was,
not to kill on him too much, because if someone said Yankees don't like him, he's no good in the clutch in the playoffs, you'd have 29 other teams raising their hands and says, "We'll fix him."
Yeah, man. The exciting part for me really was, despite the dead offense, a lot of people were talking about, oh, the bats are cold, these guys are just warming up, this and that or whatever. Man, the pitching across the board was so good. These guys are in May form right now, throwing 100-mile-an-hour fastballs. I mean, every single one of them. Not a single guy that was put out there did not look like they were in spring training form and behind in any way, shape, or form. So for me, that was the part that I thought was really awesome. Now, it'll be interesting to see for some of those guys how they progress through the season, if they had their bodies ready this early and we're out there throwing the 100-mile-an-hour fastballs and just some of the movement that they already had. It'll be interesting to see how some of those guys progress through the season, having been ready this early.
Yeah, let me spin you something that might be kind of interesting. I was just kind of thought about this. Is you've got pitchers that went really hard. They're gonna have to have some time to rest, because that's big stress on your arms. All those guys who started, especially the relievers. Relievers are a finicky bunch anyway. But they have to have a week to probably cool down, recover. Then they've got to start the season. So how many of those relievers are going to get caught in the middle?
Yeah.
I mean, they could be great, but you can certainly see a scenario where the relievers have to rest.
Mm-hmm.
They get a few days off. Then they've got to ramp back up, and they may not be quite where they were when the season starts, when they get to than they were at the WBC, especially the Venezuelan and the Dominican, because they were so pumped.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it affected those guys long term through the course of a whole season. Man, the Bryce Harper bomb that had me stoked and pumped.
Oh yeah.
But Eugenio Suarez, man, that guy came through with a double there, to put the Venezuelans up, and
Whitlock made a bad pitch and and
Yep.
Suarez made him pay for it. He has a
Yep.
little,
Made him pay.
this kind
Yeah,
of
that's what he does.
little flat fastball on the outside corner
Yep.
that Suarez just jumped on.
Yeah.
Didn't
Yeah.
try to do too
So,
much with it, which is not what he always does.
right. Yep. Yeah. Overall, just a great game, a great match. Bravo to our guy Omar Lopez and Team
Right.
Venezuela. And what fun for Venezuela, considering everything,
Oh,
geopolitical,
sure.
I guess, that's been going on with them. I've got a friend at the gym that's from Venezuela, and I walked into the gym. That was the first thing that he came up to me and said, "Venezuela, baseball." Like, he doesn't speak a whole lot of English, but man, he came up to me and he knows, because we have met at the gym before. My broken Spanish, his broken English, but we seem to be able to communicate well enough to know that we're each baseball fans. That was the first thing he came up to me. It's like,
Well,
"Venezuela, baseball."
maybe you can have him on to do the Spanish translation, and we can
Oh, that
broaden
would
our
be fun.
audience.
That would be fun. That would be
No, it's
fun. Well, speaking of pitching, as we did, um, our good old Astros GM Dana Brown was on Astros line and had a few things to say about the Astros rotation going into the season here, with only a few days before the season starts. And a few of the things that he said, I'd be interested to see what or how Joe Espada responds, and what we would hear from Joe Espada if he agrees. But Dana Brown said that the Astros, and we brought this up the other night when we were talking a little bit. Dana Brown said the Astros are going to start with a 5-man rotation.
good. If it's
And
up to me, we'd do
while,
4 men.
well, yeah, considering some of considering where we are with some of the arms that the Astros rotation consists of, one of the things that has me, well, first of all, wondering how long that'll last. I don't see that I don't see that lasting 3 weeks, a month into the season. One, and a big part of that is that they've got 2 really long stretches of consecutive games in a row. They start the season 7 days, 7 games. And so what you're going to be doing right off the bat is asking Hunter Brown and assumedly Imai as your number 2 to pitch on 4 days rest right out of the gate. And so we're going
Yeah.
with a 5-man rotation, 7 days in a row, day off, and then they've got one of those ridiculously dumb long streaks that the MLB always gives the Astros early in the season, is like 12 games in 12 days or something stupid like that.
Well, let's see, they've
You're
got
going
a
to be
game.
asking a lot of these guys.
Yeah, they got a day off on the 9th, I think. And then,
It's seven games in a row, 7 days in a
yeah,
row to
7,
start the season. And then I think
right.
they get 1 day off, and then they go 12 in a row or something ridiculous like that.
Yeah, they go, let's see, they've got she says here, they've got the 2nd off, and it looks like they've got the 9th off. And then they don't have a day off until the 23rd.
Yeah. Okay. So there you go. Yep.
So
Yeah, I don't know. I can't see.
it's 2 days off in the first month, basically.
Yeah, I can't see, after doing that, them sticking to a 5-man rotation. I just can't.
Well, you know what they
On
could,
top of that, it makes me wonder if they're talking about a 5-man rotation, again, assuming a lot here, right? Obviously, Hunter, Imai, Burrows. There's 1, 2, 3. Pretty
right.
easy to slot those guys. Then
Yep.
you're going to be looking at what? Javier, Lance McCullers. Okay, so there's your 5 guys.
And Lance has looked good in the
So
spring.
Lance has not looked bad in the spring. Javier actually, numbers wise, hasn't looked bad. His velo is down.
It's back up though.
Rotation numbers are
It was
off.
up to 93 the other day.
Okay, well, that's good to see. And so maybe it all comes around. But what I wonder with this 5-man rotation, I guess Eric Getty's going to be sitting in the arm barn for a while, and then of course I guess there's no plans there for Weiss to get any starts. So it'll be really interesting to see kind of what ends up coming out of this. One of the other things that he said, which think a lot of us are relying on pitching, but he said multiple times, this team scores 3 to 4 runs, they'll win every game of those games. That's great. We didn't do a whole lot to upgrade the offense, and last year the
No.
Astros won 18 and 24 in games that they scored 3 runs in.
Yeah. No, I
They
that's
went 19 and 27 in games that they scored 4 runs in.
yeah. No,
So he's playing this and really putting a lot of pressure on this pitching.
yeah, and the magic number in MLB is always 5 runs. Give me 5 runs and you'll
Yes.
have a game.
Yes.
You go 4 and less, you hope to break even at 4 and less, and you know you're not gonna break even at 3. That's
Yes.
just how it is. Back to your pitching, I wonder what they do with Arrighetti because he really hasn't done anything to distinguish himself. He's always had a
No.
pretty live arm, and you think he's coming along, and he never really quite does. I wonder if he's got options, so I wonder if they send him out so they give him so he gets regular work.
Get some work
Weiss
in.
is
I
not
wouldn't
going
be
to be sent
surprised if
out.
he starts in the minors. Yeah.
Weiss is not going to be sent out because he signed a major league contract.
Mhm.
And
Yep.
it wouldn't surprise me at all if they go those 5 they do 5-man rotation to start, and then they
Mhm.
stick a 6th, then kind of a spot start to give everybody an extra day's rest. But
An
I don't
extra
see him
day
going to
off.
a 6-day. I don't see him going to a 6-day for the whole time because that puts over the season, that puts an immense amount of pressure on your bullpen.
Yes, it does. Absolutely. I agree. Yeah, I thought a lot of that was rather interesting, and so I agree with you. I think maybe Arrighetti starts the season in the minors. Um, Begs the question, I guess, too. JP Francis actually looks pretty good.
Mhm.
Um,
He's not
I
on the
mean,
40 man though.
oh,
JP's
good
not on the
point.
40 man.
Good point.
JP's
Because
not on the 40
because
man.
he
So
was DF. Yep,
he is
that's right.
DFA'd.
Good point.
He
Good
signed
point.
back on a minor league deal. So I doubt he breaks with the team. But as
Yep.
long as he pitches well, he's pitched well enough to say that shoulder looks decent.
Yeah. Yeah. He's definitely going to be on the cusp there. Probably one of the first guys that gets any sort of a call
Yeah, I would
if
say
the
it's
need arises.
yeah, I'd say it's Arrighetti unless Arrighetti pitches terribly. They DFA Arrighetti and then bring France up. Thing if you
But
DFA a
you
young
said
guy like
Arrighetti's
it,
got options. Does he have
yeah,
options?
he has options, but you still got to have a place on the 40 man.
Yeah.
But if you DFA for Arrighetti, someone's going to pick him up.
Oh, for sure. For
Yeah,
sure. Yeah. And I think that before you do that, you'll DFA a position player, make room with a position player before you would
yeah,
anything in the pitching
yeah.
right now.
It's hard. It's impossible even to guess about what's going on because they haven't set the roster yet, and the roster should be set Sunday.
Yep. One other thing that stood out to me, non-pitching related, is that Dana Brown had a lot to say about Cam Smith. He said that he believes that this is going to be Cam Smith's breakout year and that by mid to late season, he could see Cam Smith being a middle of the order piece on this team.
Yeah,
Wally,
put
your
some pressure
response to
on
that?
put, put some pressure on him, Dana.
Yeah.
He's always been, one of Cam's fans.
Yes.
When
And he
when it came
made a
time for the
big deal.
trade,
Yep.
yeah, when it came time for the trade last year, people were saying, why didn't you take Matt Shaw? And he says, no, I want Smith.
Mm-hmm.
He
Yep.
wanted Smith over Shaw.
Yep.
So, he has a man crush on Smith.
Yeah.
And, they've tried to play him in center field. I know they played a game or two in center field. I didn't hear any feedback on how he did. It
I didn't
didn't
really
sound
see
like he
either.
even had many balls hit to him, so it's hard to tell.
Yeah. Yep. 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 So the outfield came up in the conversation as well. I think Loper Fido gets the nod over Zach Cole. Zach
I think Cole
Cole
gets sent
having a
out, don't
lot
you?
of, I think so. I mean, he's leading the team in strikeouts, which that has been the focus of the spring training is not
Well,
striking out.
and that's been Cole's bugbear.
Yes, that's yeah,
You
it's
know,
it has.
he's got lots of skills, but he strikes out 37% of the time or some
Yep.
number
Major
in
Achilles.
that dog. Yeah.
Major Achilles heel. Yeah, so I think there's no doubt that, I mean, Loperfido leads the team in hits right now, so I don't think that there's any
Yeah.
doubt, that Loperfido gets the nod over Zach Cole when it comes to, um, this outfield situation that we've been looking at.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so too. I think
He was
so
asked
too.
again about Jordan getting playing time, specifically in the first series at home to lead off the season, and the whole Paredes situation. And he danced around the question a little bit, didn't really want to commit to anything. But my take from some of what he was saying is that there's no plan on playing Jordan in left and giving Paredes DH hitting.
I don't know. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I think they'll do it because Jordan will bug them until they do it.
Well,
Um,
I mean, if Joe has anything to say about it as well, I think that that's, potentially
yeah,
going to get
when
the
you're
nod.
playing them, when you're playing, places I would play Jordan would be, at home.
Hmm.
If you've got a ground ball pitcher like when Fromber was out there, he was great to play. I'd keep
Hmm.
him off of artificial turf.
Hmm.
He's got some knee
100%.
issues. Keep him off artificial turf.
Hmm.
Um, and let him get out and play.
Yep.
It's not like the guy's Giancarlo Stanton. He can, we talked last show. You do not run on Jordan. You run at him at
Right.
your own peril because he
Yep.
will throw you out.
Yep.
Hey, did
Especially
anything
with
come
that
up on
short left
DeCenzo?
field.
Anything come up on DeCenzo? Because DeCenzo's been
No, I
out
didn't
because
hear.
he was on
Yeah,
the
I didn't hear
Italy.
anything
He's
about
on the
that.
Italy WBC team. I think
Yeah,
he hit pretty
I don't
well.
think anything came up. I don't think anything came up about DeCenzo. I'd have to go back
I
and
would
look at the transcript. But
I would expect him to make the team because
yeah,
he
I
can
think so. I
play.
mean, when you look at some of those other fringe guys, Shea Wickham, he's
He's a
had a really
4A
horrible
player.
spring. Yeah, I would have to say that DeCenzo might end up being your last guy to get the nod.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yep.
Um, he's also getting to the point where it's time to either decide if he's going to be a part of your core piece or trade him and find what
Yeah.
you can get for him. Because this will be
Yep.
the third year up for him. And Whitcomb too. When you're talking about people to get DFA'd, Whitcomb could be the one to get DFA'd because he has no position. He
Yep.
can, if you throw a fastball in the right spot, he can hit it. But he's not going to get any time with us. And
Hmm.
he's just taking up space.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. So, and considering where they potentially need that that bench piece to sit, makes me really wonder kind of what they're going to end up doing there.
Yeah.
Um, you brought in a utility guy to supposedly take uh Dubon's place, and you've got a loaded infield with, now word that Pena could actually end up potentially starting the season with the team. So yeah, DeCenzo might be on the outside, or he might could get the nod. It'll be interesting to see what they
Yeah.
do with
I think
that
he
last
will.
spot,
I think he will.
that last spot.
We've been working around the league.
We
We've
have.
got we've got the NL done, and
We do.
we will give our final predictions uh, next week in
Yes.
our preseason, our final preseason pod. But let's talk a little bit about the AL and East and the AL Central tonight. AL East, to me, it's no surprise. To me, it breaks down as you've got the Yankees and the Blue Jays in one tranche. You've got Baltimore and you've got the Red Sox in another tranche. Although the Red Sox are closer to the front than they are to the back. And then you've got, I think this is going to be another year where the Rays really struggle.
Yep.
They've picked up Owen Casey in the trade for no, that's the Marlins. It's the wrong one. They they've got a lot of guys that they're trying to work around. I picked up Gavin Lux. They've got some guys with skills. They picked up Cedric Mullins. It's kind of a retread. Uh, Jake Fraley's in right field. They've got Ben Williamson on the bench. They picked up from Seattle. The two guys they have that are the one guy they really have as a star is Junior Caminero, and he is just
Mm.
fun to watch. And he is a stud. He's a stud already, and even more of a stud in the making. Yandy Diaz is there, but you know they just don't have the players. Jacob Melton, I
Yeah.
think, has had a good spring, but if they can do something with Melton that we couldn't do with Melton, that's going to make Dana look bad.
Yeah.
Um,
We'll have to see what ends up coming with that. I mean, I don't know. I feel like there was still a ceiling with Jacob Melton, and it's a big part of the reason why Dana was okay with running him.
yeah, yeah. But when you look at the lineups, you've got with the Blue Jays, you've got Kirk and Guerrero, the best in the division at their positions. Got Ernie Clement and Okamoto as a second, along with Springer as second in the division at their positions. They've got Andres Jimenez, Varsho Barger, and then Jesus Sanchez. I was surprised they took Jesus Sanchez. Not that we're
I was too.
complaining,
No,
not we're
not complaining
complaining,
at all.
but
Not for that money.
I'm glad they at least took took the contract from him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yankee Yankees same sort of setup. You've got Judge, Bellinger, Grisham, Austin Wells, Ben Rice, McMahon. If you had to give me one, I'd say give me the Blue Jays over the Yankees because I think the pitching is going to be better,
Hmm.
and they're going to also Rodon and Cole aren't back till midseason.
Hmm.
That's kind of
Yeah,
where we break it down.
I think you can't ignore the Baltimore Orioles still. It's one of the best young cores in baseball. Just they're athletic. You've got Gunnar Henderson, Adley Rushman, Jackson Holiday, who's kind of your X factor, right? What
Hmm.
is he fully capable of? Um,
He's got a
so
hamate
I
this spring too.
oh,
He's
did he
he's
really? I
he's
didn't
not
hear that.
he's not going to be ready for this. He's not going to be ready for the opening day, but
Okay,
he'll
I
be
missed that.
ready late April. He thinks
Okay,
they picked up
well,
the Orioles picked up Alonso, and let's just see how that works
they
because that'll
did.
give him a
Yeah, yeah. I think it'll be interesting. The Orioles have always kind of been on that cusp of making some hay in the AL East, and they've always seemed to be the team that pushes the other teams to do better, as opposed to being the team that actually makes a hay, really. So, maybe this will be their year to actually do something. They've got a farm
well.
system that can feed talent to this team. Um, yeah, we'll
We've
we'll
already
see.
we've
I'm a
already
little high
seen
on
it.
the Orioles.
Yeah, we've already seen this happen once to the Orioles' last manager. His potential will get you fired.
That's true. That's very true.
Poten-
That's very true.
potential got their manager fired.
That's true. That's true.
The one guy I would look
And then
at the
what
one
what
guy I'd
is
look at for the Orioles is
Yep.
to watch out for is Kyle Bradish. Before he got
Okay.
hurt a couple of years ago, he was a stud.
Yep.
And now if he's back, that makes a big difference.
Yeah. That would make a big difference. I think that'd be huge for them if he comes back and actually ends up being able to perform to where he was before. Um, I guess the Red Sox, what are the Red Sox doing? Like, are they rebuilding? Are they competing? Are they like,
Yeah, that's a
what are the
that
Red
that's
Sox
ex-
doing?
that's exact. Well, they've got Roman Anthony and Staden Rafaela. Um, they also when people talk about signing contracts to the young kids and extending them, what's the name of that
Mhm.
kid that they extended last year and ended up in the minors? You remember?
Oh, I don't know. I vaguely remember something about that, but
Yeah, we'll find out. But there was that rookie. I'll think of him before the show's over. Um,
we're both
yeah,
looking
it
it
was
up.
Roman Anthony, and then there was Christian Campbell.
Oh,
Remember
okay. Oh,
they extended
it
him for
wasn't, Rafaela?
it wasn't Rafaela, it was Christian Campbell, and
Okay.
he's back in the
Oh,
minors
okay.
now.
Okay.
Rafaela's a player.
Yeah, they gave him an 8-year extension before he had fully established himself. His offense struggled, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
And so, when people get on their horse to try to spend Jim Crane's money to extend guys, doesn't always work out.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely.
So anyway,
All right. So that's interesting.
if I had
So,
to break these things down, when you talk about the lineup strength is with the Yankees, it's with the Blue Jays and kind of with the Orioles.
mhm.
The pitching strength is definitely with the Red Sox. If you look at what the Red Sox have, they've got a really stud staff with
Yep.
Crochet, Sonny Gray, Suarez, and Brian Bayou.
Mhm.
So they if they're going to compete, it's because they're going to do it on their pitching. The
Yep.
Yankees and the Blue Jays have good, solid pitching, which should be certainly enough to compete and probably win that division.
I think so. I think so. It'll be some of the same. We'll see. We'll see. All right. So, the AL Central. This one's always kind of fun because you've always got the Twins and the Guardians kind of hanging in there. And then lately the Detroit Tigers have shown up, but for a long time it's been kind of the Twins and the Guardians. Detroit shows up now over these last couple years. This past season, this off season, Detroit made some moves.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yeah,
grabbed a couple of big name arms, some interesting ones that we are very familiar with here in Houston.
yeah, it's to me it looks like um, Detroit's league or division to lose.
Yeah.
They've got Dingler, they've got Glaber Torres came back, Riley Green's back, Kerry Carpenter's back,
Mm-hmm.
Torkelson seems to have figured it
Torkelson.
out.
Yep.
Parker Meadows is a good center fielder. Wenzel Perez is a decent right fielder.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Javier Javier Baez is okay.
Yeah.
He'll do, but irregardless of him being not worth his contract, but it's too late now.
Yeah.
But where the Tigers look is they've got Skubal, Fromber, Jack Flaherty, Casey Mize, and Verlander.
Yep.
That starting
Yep.
staff is really good.
It
Is a
might
good,
be the best in Major League Baseball.
yeah. You've got Will Vest is a good setup. They brought Kenley Jansen in, so with Vest as being a former closer now and Jansen being the closer,
Mm-hmm.
Jansen won't have to share all the load. Kyle Finnegan's there too. Tyler Holton got hurt, so they'll be looking for someone in the staff to step up. People are hot on Kansas City.
They
I think Kansas
are.
City is a second place
Yeah.
team. I don't think they've got enough. I don't think they've got enough lineup. They don't have enough pitching to stand
Yeah.
up to the Tigers.
Yeah.
Reagan's is there. Chris
You just
Bubik
can't
is there.
expect a single superstar to carry a whole team.
Bobby Witt's there. Now Michael Garcia is good. They're going to ask him a lot to Caglianone to improve. Pasquantino, same thing. Salvi Perez gets a lot of play, but he's also old. He's
Yep.
been in decline. The
Yep.
pitching looks above average, but it's not as good as the Tigers because Skubal's the Tigers' ace. You got Reagan's. Who do you take? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Fromber's their number two. The number two for the Royals is Michael Waka, who can be good, but he couldn't be good. You've got Noah Cameron, you've got Seth Lugo. Compared against Flaherty, Casey Mize, and Justin Verlander. So, I mean, I'd like to see Kansas City do okay. They're a fun team to root for.
Yeah.
But, if the Tigers don't win this division, their heads are going to roll.
100%. 100%. I still think that the winner of the AL Central Division shows up into the playoffs with the lowest win total of any division winner.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They're throwing a lot of these win totals out at 90. Everybody's like supposed to win 90 games and all.
Yeah,
Somebody's going
everybody's
to
gonna win 90
they I
games.
don't know who's gonna win 100. I know who's gonna win
I
100,
don't
but
know.
not everybody's gonna win.
Yeah.
Not every
No.
division winner is gonna be 90. It wouldn't surprise me if Seattle wins 96, 97.
Yeah. Yep. Very possible. Very
I mean, I
possible.
see the East, I
Yeah,
can
it'll
see
be an
that
interesting
happening.
yeah, it'll be an interesting
East
division, I think.
Yeah, the AL East, I can see them having, not having any more 90 because that's a rough division. People beat each
Yep.
other up.
Yeah. Well, and with this balanced schedule too, I think the interesting thing will be to see, how these divisions still play off of each other. It's always interesting, even with the balanced schedule, how those divisional games always end up meaning more in the long run.
Yeah. Do you
Obviously,
now
because of the way that the calculations within the division go, but it's also just the more rivalries, I guess you could say, are usually interdivision.
Okay, so we've had a few years now of every team plays every team.
Mhm.
Do you like it better like that, or do you like it better that you play one team in in the other league, one division in the other league, and you play more of your own division?
I see, I'm torn. I really could flip a coin here, I think, because I do like the balanced schedule, and I do like being able to see every team and seeing how you match up to those teams in a game, physically, actually, not on paper. But I do really miss the aspect of that interleague play and how that was very specific to, the way the interleague play was done. And divisional play. I think divisional play made it just made it more exciting. Um,
Well, you
as
did
you were
at
playing those divisional games, they meant more, really. In the
yeah
big picture, they meant so much more.
at 19 games playing against each other, you developed a visceral hate against teams.
Oh yeah, yeah. Not just that, but you come to learn all of the different things, right? So
Right.
there's a lot of things that you can leverage and that you can pull out and use over the course of 19 games against another team versus only getting to play that team 8 times or whatever it is
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
through the
But
course of the
it's gonna
season.
be
So,
interesting. Next by the time when we talk to everybody again, the Astros will have made their final cuts, made their
yes.
final assignments. And so we'll really have a lot to talk about. We'll either talk to everybody Sunday or we'll talk to you Monday. And
Mhm.
then Netflix. Can you believe they're putting the opening game on Netflix? What a crock.
Just I don't know. I mean, I have Netflix. I'm fine with it because I'm gonna get to watch it, but at the same time,
But it's
I
a
don't
typical
understand these TV deals and how they try to figure some of this stuff out and then do some of these games. It's ridiculous. I
I think it's
mean,
ridiculous too.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
you know,
I mean,
baseball's
I
the most
have it. I'm not gonna
democratized.
miss it. So
Yeah.
it's in the big picture, it's not that big of a deal, but I don't know, man. I want to hear TK and Blummer. Like,
Yeah. Well, it's only
yeah,
gonna be one game. It's only gonna be one
yeah,
game
yep,
on Wednesday, but
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Whatever. But
It is what it is. We'll still sit back and root for our Astros. Um, with the Crawford
well,
Bucker, a
on
dumbo.
a lighter note, the state of Texas is happy because both Texas and A&M won their opening rounds tonight.
Hey, there you go. All right, so NCAA basketball is in full swing now.
In full
So we
swing, and so there's been a few upsets, and
mhm.
so everybody check your brackets and throw them
And
away
check the
by
bracket.
Saturday
Yep.
because they're going to be screwed up.
It's always the case, man. It's always the case, man. And in
Right?
probably 25 years of putting together decent brackets, man, I think I've had maybe 3 over the course of the years go down to a Final Four,
Yeah,
and getting, 3 out of the 4 right. So you just never know, man. That's the fun of college basketball, right? So
yeah.
it's an exciting time of year for sports again. Nothing against NBA basketball, but man, those couple of months when there's nothing but NBA basketball on, it's a little
That's
painful.
brutal. That's
It's a
brutal.
little painful. It
Well, I'm
is.
sure we'll
It
talk to
is.
everybody on Sunday, and we'll review what the Astros have done with their cuts, maybe Monday, and then one more before the season starts, and we'll let everybody know what's going to happen before it's happened, because our predictions will be 100% correct.
Ryan and Wally throwing out the predictions. All
There
right,
you
man.
go.
Well, that's another episode of Dirt Diamond Sports Talk. For my man Wally, I'm Ryan Bokros. We'll talk to you guys again soon. Go Stros.
Go Stros. Good show.